All right. Once again, it is my pleasure to have as my special guest here in the studio today, Mr. Avery Burke of the band Corpus Callosum. Am I saying that correctly?
That is correct, yes.
Excellent, excellent. And Avery is here. You here promoting the band's new record, Shadow Show.
That's right, yes. And also just my own solo work.
Right. And speaking of the solo work, you're going to be performing Monday night.
Correct.
July 14th.
Correct.
Right up the road here at Cafe Zippy's.
Yes, all correct.
So that particular show, is it just going to be you and your guitar, just like you're playing here tonight, or are you going to have some other musicians?
Yeah,
with you?
what you hear now is what you will hear if you go to Cafe Zippy's.
That is absolutely perfect, and I couldn't think of a better segue to get right into a song. Let's let them hear what they're going to hear if they show up for the show.
Why don't you come to my house when you come back home? Why don't you come to my house when you come back home? Where you get so far away when you start to roam. Why don't you come to my house when you come back home? Teapot in your kitchen whistles out of key. Teapot in your kitchen whistles out of key. When it sings its broken song, would you bring some tea to me? Oh, why don't you come to my house when you come back home? Baby, don't be mean to me and I'll be good to you. Oh, baby, don't be mean to me and I'll be good to you. Stop by for an hour, stay the whole day through. Why don't you come to my house when you come back home? When you come back home. Baby left me weeping, crossed the deep blue sea. Oh, baby left me weeping, she crossed the deep blue sea. Last thing I heard her say was, please don't write to me. Oh, why don't you come to my house when you come back home?
There you are, ladies and gentlemen. Avery Burke performing live at Cafe Zippy's Monday, July 14th. What's showtime for that particular gig? When are you getting started?
I believe it starts at 7 o'clock.
Perfect. And of course, you can always go to Cafe Zippy's website just to make sure that we have that correct. Now, this tour, like you said, it's just a solo acoustic. You're out on the road by yourself, playing your own tunes, doing your own thing.
Yes, I'm definitely out on the road by myself.
Yeah, as we were talking just before we came on the air, you came all the way from Salt Lake City last night.
Yes.
Wow, you must be exhausted.
I'm a little bit out of it. Yeah, it was it was one of those things where my GPS kept kind of like adding an hour to the. Like it was like the GPS was chasing a rainbow or something. Like the little red dot just kept moving a little further down the road.
That's kind of how Everett is. The closer you get, the farther away you are.
Yeah, even now I feel that I am very far from Everett. Perhaps I will never get to know Everett.
That's it. Now, when you're not out on the road by yourself, you, as we mentioned to earlier, are part of a group called Corpus Callosum.
Yeah, excellent pronunciation.
And I had no idea what that meant when I first you and I first talked, but I was looking it up, getting ready for the interview, and I was like, my God, that may be the perfect name for a band. Can you explain to folks where the name came from?
Yeah, Corpus Callosum is the structure in the brain that connects the two hemispheres, and it facilitates communication between the two hemispheres of the brain, and it's there are a bunch of reasons you might want to name a band that. It's stronger in musicians, for one. it's just a very interesting structure. Strange people exhibit strange phenomena when you sever it, and sometimes you have to sever it if somebody has a very bad epilepsy. So yeah, there are a bunch of reasons I wanted to name the band that.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Now the group itself, it's like a 7-person ensemble. Is that correct? Now, I was reading the description of what a live show was like, and it was fascinating to me. Could you explain a little bit what goes on when a Corpus Callosum comes together?
Yeah, when Corpus Callosum comes together. Yes, yeah, good, nice one, very good, Ron. Yeah, we have some of the members are puppeteers, and we have a trained circus clown. So we have stilt walking. We have large puppets. We used to do a lot of like installation pieces where we'd have somebody on stilts walking through the crowd and hanging lights from the ceilings that kind of look like stars. And I don't do it anymore, but I used to do like I would freak out and yell and scream at the audience with a megaphone and like roll around in the audience. That was when I was younger.
It seemed like a good idea at the time, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, for that type of production, how much rehearsal time went into putting that together?
A lot of it's a collaborative, creative process. So we live together in a warehouse. And we would get together and we would plan, like if somebody, like we would get hired to do something at a museum or something, and we would get together and everybody would throw out ideas, and then we would slowly construct the idea, and then different people that have different parts in a performance will rehearse at their own time.
Yeah, because I was going to say, it seemed like just the description of it seemed like there were a lot of moving parts in this performance.
Yeah, and some of that stuff happens organically. Like we would develop like a lot of set pieces that we could do. Ooh, sorry, I hit your microphone. Like we would be like, okay, at this point we could have somebody hang stars, and at this point we could have a projector doing something. And there are a lot of like little pieces that could all get put together. Or for a festival, we would sometimes develop something new. One of the founding members of the band is a guy named Dax Trancafe, who is a very talented puppeteer, and we would do things like assist his. He would come up with an entire puppet show, and we would assist his puppet show. So he once did a performance at a festival in downtown San Jose that had a puppet that required 3 puppeteers to operate it, and like a bunch of little puppets, and like we turned it into a huge Corpus Callosum / Dax Trancafe performance.
That's incredible. What's the biggest challenge when there's a group of that many people and so many different things going on? What's the biggest challenge as a performer?
The biggest challenge to me is just is coordination. Like one of the reasons I'm out touring on my own is it's hard to tour with a group of people like that, and everybody has their own. All of the people in that group are very strong, active artists. So, for instance, Dax, who I just mentioned, has a webcomic, and he was nominated for an Eisner Award, which is like
nice.
Wow. It's crazy actually. It's his first foray into comics. Yeah, and another member of the band, she is running a museum of kind of like a cabinet of curiosities out of our warehouse, and then one of us, actually our percussionist, just went off to get his PhD in neuroscience, and so it's just like it's a big thing trying to coordinate people.
Right.
That is a challenge.
Now that the group has an album that just came out in June, right?
Correct. Yes.
If folks are interested in getting more information or finding that CD, where can they find it?
CorpusCallosum.bandcamp.com. So the Corpus Callosum is spelled CorpusCallosum. Please double check that, because I have very severe dyslexia.
No, that's right. I have it written right in front of me just to make sure I didn't mispronounce it myself.
Good,
so
yeah.
that was exactly it.
.bandcamp.com. We worked for a year and a half on the album, and the band, I should say, has a bunch of. I'm really into strange instruments and stuff like that. So if you want to go and take a listen to the album, you can listen to it without having to buy it on Bandcamp. And we have like tuned crystal glasses and accordions and banjos and just made up weird percussion and all kinds of There's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. If you get a chance, definitely go to Bandcamp and look up Corpus Callosum. You will not be sorry that you did.
Well, thank you.
How about we give them another song, and then when we come back, we'll talk more directly about you as an artist instead of the group.
That sounds great. Why don't I... just a word about this song. It's about there's a little place just south of San Francisco where San Franciscans all bury their dead because you cannot bury your dead directly in San Francisco, and that city is called Colma, and the song is about Colma. Colma in the sunshine, Colma in the fog, drinking muddy water, the hollow of a log. Colma in the nighttime, Colma in the rain, 27 full moons through the windows of a train. Colma from the freeway, fields full of green, rows of weeping willows like you have never seen, potholes in the pavement, puddles full of sky, casting back the gray clouds as they go rolling by. I'm in Colma drinking coffee, she's boiling water for her tea. When I have gone to Colma, she won't remember me. Got myself a blackbird, hear how sweet he sings, yellow round his dark eyes, oh blood red on his wings.
Avery Burke, live in the Sunlit Room. Boy, thank you very much for that, Avery. That's a very pretty song.
Oh, thank you.
Now, earlier generations of musicians, they always talk about their aha moment, like seeing Elvis on the Ed Sullivan Show or seeing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. For you, did you have any type of aha moment where you heard or saw something that made you realize, yeah, this is it, this is what I'm going to do?
Yeah, I think so. I just want to say, when you said earlier generations of musicians, I was trying to anticipate where that question was going. I don't know where this is.
Yeah, that was a hard curve. It comes in and just drops on you.
Yes. Yeah, aha moments. Gosh, I had a few experiences like that. I mean, neither of my parents are musicians, but music was always important to them because they were children of the 60s. Sure. But I used to listen a lot to, at some point I discovered college radio music, and I used to listen a lot to college radio music, and I was like, yeah, okay, there are two moments actually. I was 15, and I was in the car, and I was listening to college radio, a college radio station where I later worked, and I was not getting along with my mom, and a song came on, and I got about a verse into the song, and my mom was yelling at me about something and asked if I was listening to her and turned it down. And the first verse of that song was stuck in my head for 3 years, and I later found out that it was a band called Neutral Milk Hotel, who's been like a big influence on a lot of kind of indie folk people since then. Yeah. And then actually, there are two more moments that I can think of, and both of them I've thought of a lot, and they both seem incongruous to me. Do you ever watch the History of Rock and Roll series on PBS?
I've seen a few of the episodes. I haven't seen all of them yet, though. I absolutely do. I love that series, though. It's amazing stuff. It's
a wonderful series. And for some reason or another, when I was like 9, I was watching, and there was a segment on the Velvet Underground, and it's like there's I don't know what, I think they must be playing. They're either playing the song Heroin or they're playing Venus and Furs. But they're all in an apartment, and it's black and white footage of them performing. And Mo Tucker has like a marching band bass drum, and she's just hitting it rhythmically. And John Cale is playing this like droney thing on the violin. And they've all got sunglasses on. They all look like they're clearly on drugs. And for some reason, when I was 9, it looked like the coolest thing in the world.
Well, there aren't a lot of 9-year-olds out there who think heroin is the coolest thing ever. So that's a little different in and of itself.
I would like
Hopefully they were playing Venus and not heroin.
Yeah. I'd like to clarify that it was the music and the image. Yes. Yeah. And that's when I went out and became a heroin addict. And that's why I am here now.
That's the juicy part of the VH1 behind the music story for you.
For anybody that knows me, like my drug of choice is coffee. Like I'm a very kind of a boring person. So,
boy, are you in the right town? There's a lot of coffee stands in this town.
I have noticed. I have taken note.
Now, when you had those moments, first at 9 and then at 15, were you already playing an instrument at that time, like at school or something like that, or did you take it or pick it up as a result of those moments?
I started playing guitar at 15, so I think that it was as a result. It was as a result of that. There's a bunch of moments. Like I also heard Elliott Smith at some point. Man, another heroin addict. What is wrong with me? Gosh, I'm looking back. I also really enjoyed Bill Evans, who was also a heroin addict. What the crap? Anyway,
I think we just had a breakthrough, and that'll be all until our next session.
Well, see you guys later. I know what I'm doing with the rest of my life. No, these are not these are not joking matters.
True.
For whoever is listening.
It's one of those things, though, that, as a young man, as a teenager, you have no idea about the personal lives of these folks.
That's true.
It's just the music and the music talking to you in a certain matter. As you go backwards, you learn these things. And hopefully we learn from the mistakes those artists made so we don't replicate them.
Yeah, and also, when I was a lot younger, it was kind of a superstition where I didn't want to learn about the private lives of the people whose art I liked, because I thought it would I don't know exactly. I thought it would pollute my view of their art. I am no longer like that. Now I read biographies and stuff.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the same, along that same theory where they say never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Because they can't possibly live up to your expectations.
I've had a few meetings with my heroes, and what always ends up happening is I get nervous and say something dumb, and then my heroes hate me. So that is why I never would like to meet my heroes.
That would be a great song title, though. My Heroes Hate Me. You should write that. Now, back in the early days when you first started playing, and especially when you first started to take that step into writing your own songs, what kinds of things inspired you to do that?
For the first 10 years of my songwriting, death inspired me. I wrote mostly songs about death, and it was a philosophical thing that I had, but for some reason that because I liked a lot of old timey mountain music and stuff, and all that music is about death. And
most of it, for sure.
And so when I was in my early 20s, I was a death obsessed 20-year-old.
Now, when you sit down to write a song today, are you still kind of inspired by that same thing, or do you look in different places now for your inspiration? How
to put this? All of the songs that I wrote for our latest album they are kind of inspired by the same thing. They're now inspired by personal experiences I've had with stuff like that, but it's more about this philosophical idea of reconciling yourself. So I'm trying not to veer off into into pretentious territory. I now take a lot of philosophical ideas about. I spent the last 10 years studying poetry and poetic ideas and stuff like that, and I take this approach now where my songs are kind of about living with the contradiction of being a finite being in an infinite time, and personally, I don't believe that there's any organization to the universe, and so a lot of the songs, underlying a lot of the songs, is this struggle to still put meaning into life and be a good person, even in the absence of a greater meaning. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does, actually. It was very, very well put, I think. It's
Nice.
And you know, and I think I agree with you in quite a bit of it. I think a lot of what causes problems in this world is people trying to force meaning on things that have none.
Yeah,
You know, it's like
I think so too.
You know, I know people that say, "Well, everything happens for a reason." No, sometimes things just happen.
Yeah, I agree.
No
and also,
reason.
I,
They just do.
people who I love and who I've been very close to, sometimes that idea is okay. Like when things are going right and you believe that things are happening for a reason, then it's gratifying. But when things go wrong and you believe everything happens for a reason, then it can be psychologically damaging for
Very
no
much
reason.
So. Yeah, I agree 100%. Well, when you're out on a tour like this one, I mean, so much of your time is spent driving and navigating the course. How much time do you actually get?
Much of my time is spent driving.
How much time do you actually get to practice, if any?
You know, I've had a little bit of time to practice. I do a lot of, like, I'm not a hugely social person, so when I'm staying at somebody's house, there have been a bunch of times so far on this tour where people have been like, "We're going out to a party," and I've been like, "Can I just stay at your place?" And they'll be like, "Sure," and then I'll sit and play guitar and read. So you know, touring with a band and touring solo is different. But like when you see a band at the end of their tour, if they've had a long tour, they are very, very tight because they've been doing the same set every night,
Right.
and that's kind of what I'm trying to do for myself. Like, I messed up a bunch of the last two songs, so it's not really working. But I'm hoping that playing songs over and over again it'll be its own form of practice. It's better to do this in front of people anyway than it is to sit alone in your room. And
Yeah, and there are certain times. I've talked to a lot of artists over the years, and you know, the one thing they say a lot of times is sometimes those moments where you make a mistake is where you find the thing that brings your entire song together and really makes it something that the audience relates to.
Yeah, and I wish that I had moments like that.
You will, and it might happen Monday at Cafe Zippy.
That's right. Come by and see the mistakes turn into something good at
That's
Cafe
right.
Zippy.
Turning mistakes into magic. Again, you can put that on your tour shirt. Turning mistakes into magic since 2014.
I said on Facebook that I was touring. I've managed to tour a bunch of ghost town or near ghost towns in Arizona for some reason. Like, I'm booking my own tour and I end up in these places. I'm like, how did I get here? How did I even find out about this place? But
I'll tell you, I bet when you're playing those ghost towns, I bet a song like Kama really, goes over with the crowd because they're all ghosts.
Yeah, that's right. I'm singing about their lives. Boom. And I told someone on Facebook that I was doing a tour of other people's dreams and ghost towns because they were like, I dreamt about your music last night. And I want to do like a t-shirt that's like Avery Burke 2014 tour and has like ghost towns on it and then common dreams like, Jerome,
cool.
Arizona, and then like the dream of showing up naked to school and then like another thing and then like dream that your teeth is falling out.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Well, we are unfortunately running out of time, and before I let you go, I got to get one more song out of you, Avery.
All right. So this song is a song actually not about all that stuff I was talking about. This was specifically written for a specific person, and I usually do not do that. Also, this is a new song, and I've been prefacing this song by saying that's a new song because people will be more understanding when I mess it up. It's called A Song for Lisa. Oh, the dark is deep. Oh, the night is long. I know you can't sleep. I know something's wrong. Shadows forage in the street. Storms rage on the sea. Black clouds gather at the beach, and you lie restlessly. Close your eyes, try to leave your worry be. Leave it with me. Like the hands of a clock keep time, I will keep it with mine. People will be cruel. People will be kind. You can talk all night to me. It's alright, I don't mind. To everyone you know, you are a friend. Oh, if you let that go, how deep the darkness then. How deep the darkness then. How deep the darkness then. Kindle your kindred spirit. I know how dim the light tonight. I know you're strong and you can bear it. Oh, how bright, my love, how bright. Oh, how bright you are, how bright.
They are, ladies and gentlemen, Avery Burke performing solo and acoustic Monday, July 14th, just up the road at Cafe Zippy's.
Come see the mistakes turn to magic at Cafe Zippy's.
There you go.
Monday night.
And also, don't forget the new record from Avery's group, Corpus Callosum. Shadow Show is available on Bandcamp, so definitely do yourself a favor, go check that out.
You don't even have to buy it.
You can't get a better deal than that. All right, before we say goodbye, any last thoughts, anything you'd like to leave the audience with?
No. Thank you, Ron.
Perfect. And again, thank you, Avery, for taking the time to come in. I know that was quite a trip. Hopefully you can go and get some rest now before you have to hit the road again.
I'm going to go play a farmer's market now.
Oh, my goodness. You are a busy, busy man, Avery.
It's going to be something.